like you to look at this flag that I found up here in the attic. How is it different from the American flags we're used to seeing? That's right. There aren't as many stars on it. You know, on the first American flag, there were only 13 stars. They stood for the 13 colonies that were fighting England for the right to become 13 independent United States. Let's find out how that first flag came into being. To do that, we must go back to the year 1776 and visit the home of Betsy Ross.
In and out, pushing a needle in and out. That's all you do when you're sewing. It's stupid and tiresome.
Why, Peggy, sewing isn't stupid at all. My mother says that every lady should be able to sew.
So does mine. She said we should be glad that Mistress Betsy Ross is teaching us to sew.
Well, I'm not glad. I'm tired of sitting still. I wish I were a boy, then I'd go to war.
You're not big enough.
I'm big enough to play a drum.
That would be more fun than sewing.
Of course it would, and you'd be helping your country, too. My papa says everyone should fight for freedom. How can you fight for freedom with a needle?
Maybe you can't fight with a needle, Peggy, and maybe you can.
Fight with a needle? How would a needle have helped our soldiers at Bunker Hill?
By making warm clothes, of course. The British laugh at the rags our boys must wear. They call them an army of beggars.
But I'm just sewing an old seam. I can't make clothes.
And you won't be able to either, unless you learn first on small things. A baby crawls before it walks, you know. Now let me see your work, girls. Very nice, Constance. A little crooked, Elizabeth. Peggy, these stitches are much too large.
I wish they were even larger. Then I'd be finished.
This kind of work takes only longer. Now you must rip your seam and do it over.
Again?
And again and again until it's right.
That's a shame, Peggy.
I suppose it's my own fault. I did hurry. If only I were helping in the fight for freedom instead of just sewing. How I would love to do something for General Washington, something he really needed.
Cheer up, Peggy. Maybe you can sew him a shirt when you learn to make smaller stitches.
A shirt? I mean something for America.
I'll answer the door.
If it's a poor beggar, I'll gladly give him my needle.
Is this the home of Mistress Betsy Ross?
Yes, sir.
That's General Washington.
You must be mistaken, Peggy.
Indeed, I am not. Oh, sir, you are General Washington, aren't you?
I am, my little maid.
But what are you doing here? I thought you were busy.
Well, I am busy.
Excuse me, sir. I didn't mean that you weren't. I just meant busy galloping at the head of the army.
Well, we don't gallop all the time, my dear.
Oh, now, come, my child. Where is Mistress Ross?
I'll get her, sir.
I hope Mistress Ross will be able to do what we want.
Well, I've heard she's a fine needlewoman.
Oh, sir, she is. Mistress Betsy Ross is the best needlewoman in all of Philadelphia.
Well, then she's the lady we want to see.
General Washington, I'm honored, sir. What can I do for you?
Mistress Ross, may I present Mr. Charles Morris?
A pleasure, ma'am.
We've come to ask you to do something important, Mistress Ross. Something for your country.
Is Mistress Ross to fight, sir? Is she to be in the army?
Oh, Peggy, be quiet, do. General Washington will be angry.
Angry? Oh, no, not I. I've a liking for little maids. But, Peggy, there are other ways to help your country than by fighting. Perhaps Mistress Ross can help us with her needle.
Madam, our country needs a flag.
Now that we are fighting England, we can no longer use the English flag, which once we loved so well.
We need a flag of our own, one under which the hearts of all of our countrymen can be joined together.
Exactly. Now, some of our men march under the pine tree of Massachusetts.
Others under the banner of a rattlesnake divided into 13 parts.
We need one flag, one for everybody. A flag that will make our people realize they're no longer a part of old England, but a new country.
And a free country, General Washington, one in which the hearts of all citizens are joined together under one great flag.
I shall do my best, gentlemen.
I'm sure of it. These are our plans. What do you think of this?
beautiful, General Washington. I love the colors red, white, and blue.
A stripe and a star for each of the 13 colonies.
But this is the six-pointed star of the old flag. Let's have one of our own. A new star for a new country. What do you say to a five-pointed star?
Would it be difficult to make?
Not in the least, sir. Peggy, your seam, my child. What do you think of this, General Washington?
I like it very much. We'll leave the plans with you.
I shall begin at once.
Good.
Work quickly, madam. Our country needs its flag.
Indeed it does. Farewell, Mistress Ross. Goodbye, my dears. Perhaps if you learn to sew as well as your good teacher, your needles may serve our country too.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
To think my ugly old seam would be changed to a star, the first star of our new flag.
Perhaps you'll feel differently about sewing now, Peggy. You can see that in serving your country, a needle can be just as important as a drumstick.
And I say that the needle that makes a flag is the needle that fights for freedom.
Well, I suppose you're right, Constance, though I still think beating a drum is lots more exciting. Even if I'm not very good at sewing, I'm terribly proud of my teacher.
Thank you, Peggy. Sewing class is over, girls. Gather your things. My other work must be put aside. Now, this very minute, I start to make our first American flag.
What you just saw was the play A Needle Fights for Freedom by Esther McClellan and Catherine Schrahl. Peggy was not the only young person who wanted to do more for the Revolutionary War. In Vermont, there was a boy named Aaron. He wanted to help in the battle against the English. Let's meet Aaron and the Green Mountain Boys. It was a summer night in 1777. Aaron heard a door squeak shut. Oh, he jumped out of bed and ran to the window. Down below, Pa was swinging his lantern. Other lanterns dotted the night. Why, it was the Green Mountain Boys. Something was up. As Aaron pulled on his pants, he thought,
It's the war. I know it.
Aaron lived in Bennington, a little village in the Green Mountains of Vermont. The English king ruled it and all of America. A lot of Americans didn't think the king ruled fairly. They had gone to war to stop him. The Vermont fighters were called the Green Mountain Boys. Aaron sneaked down the stairs and ran to Grandpa's tavern. The tavern was the town meeting place. He crept into the kitchen and opened the hall door a crack. A colonel of the army was standing on a table.
The British have captured the fort. Redcoats are on their way here now. We have only 100 Green Mountain Boys here, so I've sent to New Hampshire for help. But until it comes, we must be ready for anything.
Right out loud, Aaron said,
I'll be ready.
Then Aaron turned to see Grandpa scowling behind him.
The boys need help.
And I need help washing all these extra mugs.
Some of the Green Mountain Boys started right out to look for redcoats. Others stayed in town to wait for help. Pa stayed. One day, Pa climbed up on a fence.
The soldiers from New Hampshire are coming.
Aaron climbed up too.
They don't look much like soldiers to me. They look like farmers.
But at the tavern, Aaron saw a general who looked like a general. General John Stark. He heard him say,
The British are only 2 towns away. I'll need every man who can hold a gun, and I'll need bread to feed an army.
Aaron's pa said,
And you'll need the rest of the Green Mountain Boys back here. I'll ride to get them.
Grandpa spoke up.
I'll get the bread.
Aaron caught Pa at the door.
I'll go with you, Pa.
No, son.
Then I'll go with the general.
No, Aaron.
Then
Then you'll stay home and help your ma and your grandpa.
the men followed General Stark out of town. Grandpa sat down and started to count.
Let's see. There are about 1,500 men. Now, in one day, 1,500 men will eat 300 loaves. I'll sure need your help, Ma.
I'll help too, Grandpa. I can guard the tavern, or take messages to the general, or...
How about chopping the wood to keep the ovens hot?
Yes, I could do that, I guess.
It wasn't what Aaron had in mind. By afternoon, the oven fires were roaring. By evening, Aaron could smell the bread baking. And by the time he went to bed, Ma and Grandpa were stacking loaves on the tables and shelves on the windowsills. At dawn, Aaron ran to meet the soldiers' bread wagon.
Sir, has the battle begun?
Begun? The rest of the Green Mountain Boys have not even come, and the Redcoats are only one town away.
I'll ride for the boys.
Your pa's already done that.
Well, then I'll go to the general. He needs more men.
Grandpa came up and handed Aaron an axe.
And I need more work and less talk.
Bread.
In the middle of that night, Aaron heard rumbling. Oh, but not cannon. It was thunder. It began to rain, first in sprinkles, then in bucketfuls. Oh, the next day the soldiers' bread wagon didn't come and didn't come. Grandpa started to pace. Finally, he said,
Hitch the horses. We'll deliver the bread.
When they reached the camp, the general met Grandpa.
Have you seen the rest of the Green Mountain Boys?
No. Haven't you?
No. Oh, it must be this blasted weather. The boys can't get through, our guns won't fire, and the enemy is digging in for battle just up the river.
Aaron poked Grandpa.
I'll stay. Tell the general I can shoot a blackbird at 100 paces.
Pardon?
Nothing, sir. The boy wants to shoot home and do some chopping before bed.
The general smiled.
Good boy. Keep the bread coming.
Aaron could not smile back. I'm not going to finish this story. This is a book that most of you can read, and I'd like to think that you would do just that. You find out if the Green Mountain Boys get to the battle on time. You find out how Aaron helps. Now, the book you'll be looking for is Aaron and the Green Mountain Boys by Patricia Lee Gouch. I'll be looking for you to come back to my attic again very soon. Goodbye.
The preceding program was made possible by a grant from the Ohio Department of Education.